Welcome, and I'd like to call the regular business meeting of Board of School Trustees for Crown Point. Today's date is July 28th, 2025. We'd like to call this meeting to order. The official start time is 6:05. If we could all please stand and rise while Mr. Vassar leads us in the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2.01, patrons registered to comment on educational issues. Tonight, we do not have anyone registered, so we will move on to item 3, the consent agenda. Dr. Terrell.
Thank you. For your consideration this evening, on our consent agenda, we have the executive session minutes from 6:23, the regular business meeting and public hearing minutes from 6:23:25 as well, the personnel agenda, 3.03, the recommendation for employment of candidates pursuant of Indiana Code 2026-5-11.2, and then 3.04, the voucher registered checks as listed.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent, Dr. Terrell, to approve the consent agenda. Item 3.01, 6:23, 2025 executive session minutes, 6:23, 2025 regular business meeting, public hearing minutes, 3.02 personal agenda, 3.03 recommendation for employment of candidates pursuant to Indiana Code 2026-5-11.2, and 3.04 voucher register check numbers 176960 through 177301, and vouchers number 304931 through 305733. May I have a motion?
Second.
So moved by Mr. Angel and second by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. No questions or comments. We'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay.
Nay.
And the vote carries 4-1 with Mr. Vassar dissenting. Action items 4.01, out-of-country field trip to Spain. Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I'm here tonight to request your support of an out-of-country field trip to Spain by our Crown Point High School students that are enrolled in Spanish. This would take place during spring break of 2027, and this would provide them with the opportunity to both kind of immerse themselves in the culture of different stops within Spain, as well as practice their communication skills. And it is the administration's recommendation that the school board approve the out-of-country field trip to Spain by Crown Point High School students for spring break of 2027.
Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. You heard the recommendation of the administration to approve the out-of-country field trip to Spain by Crown Point High School students from March 26th through April 5th of 2027. May I have a motion?
Motion.
So moved by Mr. Vassar. Second by Ms. Bazin. Are there any questions or comments? With there being no questions or comments, we'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. Vote carries 5-0. Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. Moving on to action item 4.02, appointments by the board and accompanying bond amounts. Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, annually we're required to identify those who are responsible for monies within the school corporation and purchase a insurance bond against them. We have done that again this year with the same amounts as last year. And with that, we recommend approval of the appointments and the accompanying bond amounts.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Board, you heard the recommendation of the administration to approve the appointments and accompanying bond amounts as set forth under item 4.02. May I have a motion? So moved by Mr. Angel. Second by Mr. Warning. Are there any questions or comments?
Those bond amounts are set by the state, or those all just ours?
Those are our amounts.
Any other questions? All right, move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. Vote carries 5-0. Action item 4.03, approval of fresh fruit and vegetable program grant for 2025 and 2026. Back to you, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, we bring before you a fresh fruit and vegetable program grant offered by the USDA and working through the Indiana Department of Education. We threw it out to the buildings to see who might be interested in trying these bite-sized portion of fresh fruits and vegetables. Eisenhower, Solon Robinson, and Winfield Elementary responded back that they'd be interested in working with the food service department in their cafeterias to make that work. So with that, we recommend approval of the fresh fruits and vegetable program grant for 2025-2026.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval of the fresh fruit and vegetable program grant for 2025 and 2026. May I have a motion? Second. So moved by Ms. Basin, second by Mr. Vassar. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, if there being no questions or comments, we'll move for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. Vote carries 5-0. On to item 5.01, superintendent's discussion groups. Where are we at? Mr. Angel?
Nothing on Winfield.
Okay. Nothing for Cedar Lake. Mr. Vassar?
Crown Point redevelopment met on the 7th of July, and the main focus was the facade program reimbursement to business owners to improve the front of their buildings, which really has nothing, I don't think, to do with the schools. But just as a point of information, the average grant that was given for businesses outside of the square has been $11,000, and for businesses within the square has been $22,000 historically since the program began, which really has nothing to do with that, but just a point of information. Next meeting is Monday, a week from today.
Thank you, Mr. Vassar. Always interesting to know that kind of stuff. So, all right, moving on to the Director of Elementary Education, Dr. Kachina.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. During 2 days next week, our kindergarten kickoff program will be occurring at each of our elementary schools. This is a really great opportunity that all 7 of our elementary schools to help our newest students, our kindergartners, become more familiar, more comfortable, see some new and friendly faces, kind of understand how kindergarten works a little bit, kind of get a taste of kindergarten before that first big day. So that will be happening a couple days next week. And then the following week, on either Monday, August 11th or Tuesday, August 12th in the evening, all students and families will be invited in for open house to launch the new school year. Get to meet their teacher, get to see the building, and kind of walk around and get the feel of things. As we continue to prepare, I want to thank our front office staff members, and our custodians, and our administrators who have been kind of hard at work most of the summer here to make sure that everything is ready to go for our teachers on August 11th and our students on August 13th. We are excited and ramping up for an excellent year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kachina. Recognition item 5.03, Director of Secondary Education, Mrs. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I just wanted to take this opportunity to highlight a program we were able to offer to our multilingual learners this summer. We had both at the elementary and at the high school level a summer enrichment learning camp, which really allowed our students to develop continued community amongst the multilingual families and students, as well as continue to learn and develop English language development proficiency. And so this was really an engaging opportunity for our elementary students. They took several kind of trips around Crown Point. They engaged in a lot of different types of learning experiences, and Eisenhower was kind enough to host our students there. And the high school program will wrap up this week at the high school. And so I really wanted to thank Lexi Bloom, who is holding that for our high school students. Fiona Suttle and Katie Chahitz held the program for our elementary students. So it was just another great opportunity for our multilingual learners to continue their progress towards proficiency in English learning. I also want to thank our admin and staff who've been diligently working through the summer, whether that is coming up with big ideas for next school year that our administrators will be rolling out at the building level, to our ELA and math teachers who've been in over the summer working on and preparing for new curriculum implementation at the middle level. We also had our blended instruction design specialist hosting teachers who came in for editing days for Buzz so that our courses are up and ready to go for all of our teachers and students when we welcome students back on the 13th. So it's just been a very productive summer for teaching and learning here, and I'm appreciative to everybody for their commitment.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. We'll move on to recognition item 5.04, Director of Exceptional Education, Mrs. Paskus.
Good evening, President Smith, members of the board. Tonight I wanted to express my appreciation to my Assistant Director, Kelly Oost. She had to hold down the fort for several weeks this summer for one reason or another in my absence. So it just runs seamlessly when I'm gone and she's here, and it just feels good to have somebody with me that can just take it and run with it in my absence. So I thank her. I also wanted to recognize one of our middle school applied skills teacher, Harmony Hofstra, completed the asset program this past school year, and that is a program in partnership with our statewide special education administrators group. She was able to earn her intense intervention license free of cost. It took a year. She had to attend a boot camp for a few days last summer, and then each month she had one day online of training, and then each month she and I would check in, and we had some tasks to complete together. But it's a really nice program free of cost that we're trying to encourage more of our educators to obtain those additional licenses. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Paskus. Recognition item 5.05, Chief Human Resource Officer, Mr. Kiwa.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. Just would like to thank all of our, so many people that have chipped in for a wonderful hiring season to get us in a position to kick off our new teacher academy tomorrow. So we have our breakfast in the morning, and the list is too long to mention here, but you know, central office administration, building administration, there's keys, fobs, computers, everything, different secretaries getting things ready for these folks that we're going to welcome to our already talented educational staff. So to all those that have chipped in up to this point and will be leaders over the next 2 weeks for these new folks, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's a big ordeal, and we're fortunate to have onboarded some very talented individuals.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Kiwa. 5.06, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I'd like to recognize some of the technology staff tonight. Lynette Barker and her summer intern help that she has have gone through and got ready for all the students, 2,150 Chromebooks that you approved purchase for a couple months ago. It's impressive to get all those ready and set up and ready for distribution all the buildings. I want to thank them for that work over the summer.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. 5.07, Director of Communications, Mrs. Al.
Thank you. Good evening. Mr. Gianfermi is not here this evening, so he asked that I please remind everyone of a link that was in our newsletter we sent home last week, and that is a link to the EdFlex waiver. Information is on our website, but the short version is that this is a process with the IDOE that deals with Title I and Title IV funds, and it provides us a little bit more flexibility in hiring for positions, particularly paras, and also lets us spend those title dollars in a way that impacts students most. So parents can find the link again in the newsletter that went home last week. Information's on the website, along with a place to add comments or questions if anyone has them. More specifically related to communications, we did a hiring campaign for open interviews during the month of June. This was a combination of earned and paid media, including mailings and paid online ads. We had 84 attendees attend our open interviews that day. And as far as I know, we extended offers to more than 30 individuals to join us for support positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Allen. Item 5.08, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Terrell.
Good evening. This evening, I'd like to recognize our administrators this summer, as we have in the past 4 summers, we had our administrative leadership series, which consisted of 5 different either half-day or full-day meetings with our administrative teams. And it's been really a great experience to watch how our administrative teams have grown and how they work and rely on each other. This year, Sabrina mentioned the big ideas. They were challenged to come up with a big idea that they wanted to implement in their schools for the school year. They weren't given any other parameters other than it needs to address something in your building, something that you guys are passionate about. It was great to see each group come and the shared leadership amongst the principal, the assistant principals, their teams as they presented. Literally every building, we took something away from that, and people were able to figure out ways to implement that. One of the really coolest things to me was to hear the high school say about an administrator, an elementary administrative team that presented, we found something in your presentation that we're going to take and implement at the high school. And you would think, how in the world would that all work? But then to see back and forth. So just great to see the shared leadership. And we always challenge our administrators to be educational leaders, not just building managers. And it was very evident this summer, and just a great experience.
Thank you, Dr. Terrell. Other other business of the Board of School Trustees, 6.01. Anybody got anything tonight?
Yeah, Mr. Ramirez, I'd let you get away too quickly. I had a question, with the SAT results that came out, maybe a week and a half ago. Some friends of mine, that I've been friends with for a long time, Lake Central School Corporation, had a lot of celebrating to do on those, and, and rightly so. But have you seen any, correlation to SAT scores and anything else? Some people have trying to tie these to SAT scores and graduation rates, which I don't believe is a real good correlation. But have you noticed anything that on your part?
Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to ask you to come up so they can pick you up on the mic.
That's Brian Gill's rule.
I would agree that we don't see a strong correlation between graduation rate and the SAT pass percentage on both evidence-based reading and writing and math. We have approximately 98% graduation rate, and that will continue to go a little bit higher as we have some students finishing up some credits before the deadline in early fall. What we are doing now is we have started just this past year administering the PSAT in the fall, and then we are doing another administration of PSAT 9 and 10 in the spring. So what we are able to do is the PSAT has been relatively predictive of how students will perform on the SAT. So we're longitudinally able to look at how students did in 9th grade, compare that to their 10th grade fall, see how they're growing for 10th grade spring. They administer again in 11th grade, and then again, ultimately with the summative assessment in the spring. So that will give us some good data to track.
Sure.
We did see improvements in ELA and math for both our SAT administrations this year for those two subject areas. So we saw in ELA a 5% increase and in math a 4% increase. What's interesting is how much significantly above the state we still are. So while we still have gains to grow in terms of our SAT performance and where we want to be, ELA, we are still 19% above where the state is for their SAT pass percentage, and we are 15% above the state for math pass percentage. So in the post that was made public by Lake Central, I think that is a component that's important to take into place, is where the state of Indiana is. There was also a redesign to the SAT that took place last year, so this is only the second year of the new redesigned SAT.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. I was thinking too of other things, and I don't know how deep you dug at this point because it's relatively new data. That you plan on digging at all to find, does this correlate at all to the percentage of students taking AP courses or dual credit courses, or kids that are moving on actually to 2 to 4 year college? Is there anything like that you plan on doing?
We have looked at that. We looked at it historically, and we were able to see realistically, starting with PSAT 8 scores in the middle school, the trajectory that students went on to in terms of graduation and how they graduate, either with an academic honors diploma, this was of course under the old model, or the general diploma. So we were able to kind of see a correlation there with PSAT 8 scores and where they ended up in their high school career.
Yeah, you know, there's more, just like you said, there's more to a post than meets the eye.
There really is, and when we see that we had the highest number of AP exams ever administered, we had the highest percentage of three through five scored this past year. We also had the highest number of dual credits that we've ever administered in Indiana. Really is leading the trend in terms of comparative to other states, the number of dual credits. So I think the picture that is really created is how comprehensive we are, that we really are able to provide so many different opportunities for our students. I think at the June board meeting, I also mentioned that we were able to the first time have some of our students earn the certification for the CNA through that programming. So I just really do look at the data as well. It's a very important data point, and we're continuing to target that through school improvement, that we do have other data that we really are very, very proud of. And we're proud of our teachers for making these jumps of 4%, 5%. We're going to continue, I think, you know, to see those increase as we provide data to our teachers. It's interesting. The College Board does not package the data for SAT in a way that is able to be presented to teachers for their current students. So under Mr. Hardman last year, he came up with a very intricate process for how we can actually package that. And so we're really looking forward to being able to continue to get the data into the hands of the teachers so that they can work at an individual student level, as well as then with their PLCs to make adaptations to their curriculum.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah.
was well said.
Well, thank you. Thanks for asking.
As far as other business, just a reminder to everybody for the fall conference in September, to reach out to Diana as far as, whether or not you're attending and rooms like that.
Rooms are going quickly, so, yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Dr. Kachina, I'm sorry, when I talked to you earlier, I forgot to ask you, but you mentioned kindergartners. At this point, how does the number of kindergartners coming in compare to the number of seniors who just left us? Do you know that number off the top?
Getting new students every day.
That's right, yeah, I figured.
Yeah, Mr. Akiwa, Mr. Reese, and I talk every morning. Matt can probably give you pretty specifics. Our kindergarten number is always less than our fifth graders, obviously, as we get more families that move into our district throughout those elementary years. But I think Matt can give.
I know we talked about that a couple of months ago, but
Yep.
we don't have the numbers.
Yeah, so I can tell you that last year on fall count date, we had 739 seniors. I believe the number this morning was at 566 for kindergarten students. So decrease of about 170 students compared to from essentially May to August.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Any other board statements? Okay, move on to, I'm sorry, I should say any other business of the board. We'll go to action item 7.01 or item 7.01, board statements of appreciation and recognition. Mr. Warning. Mr. Angel.
Just a thank you to all those that work behind the scenes that don't always get acknowledgement. Mr. Colson and the security, food service, bus, transportation, buildings and grounds. We don't see anything they're doing over the summer until you see and go by the sites, but obviously all that's being done. So kudos to all those that run those departments and are making sure we are ready for another strong start in the fall.
I'd like to add on to exactly what Mr. Angel said. Thank you for all the folks that are working here in Crown Point schools, but especially for the last 3 weeks, those folks in our corporation who are working outdoors. It's been brutal. If you've cut your own grass, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So many thanks to those folks who are sweating it out to get the buildings ready. Thank you very much.
Ms. Mason.
Well, I don't think we meet until after the school year starts, so just an official good luck to everyone as kind of our teachers make their way back into the buildings. I'm sure some have been in over the course of the summer, but as everyone officially gets their class lists and gets everything ready, hoping for a fun, educational, and healthy school year for everybody.
I too just want to thank everybody who worked over the summer, kind of echoing the theme, and just means a lot because obviously we can't do what we need to do without their participation and help. Also, I hope everyone survives the start of the fair. I think it's coming. I've been seeing the trucks unload, and so traffic will start getting bad, but kids get one last event before summer ends. It goes back to school. So with that, I have nothing further, but if we can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Angel, second by Mr. Warney. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Vote carries 5-0.